One of my favorites was a deck I built around creating chaos. Destroy everything, control everything, swap people's creatures around, take creatures from graveyards, just mess everything up. I have pissed off so many people doing it. It was the best time of my life.
Did they just quit once they knew what deck you were running?
Oh no, they all ganged up on me and tried to kill me.
Didn't work so well, did it?
Hello everyone, and this is Alternating with Erik. So I'm here by myself, mostly because my usual guest, Connor, is away at the moment. He's gone on a trip. I think it's a trip he's been planning for a while now. But otherwise, I'm here with another guest, a special guest actually. So our special guest today is Cheang. Say hello.
Hello guys, it's good to be back on this podcast. I haven't been back for a long time. Good to
you haven't
voices, I guess.
Yeah, you haven't been here for a while, have you? It's not since last year.
I haven't actually been here for a while.
Oh, that's okay. But it's good to have you back here. It's always good to hear your wonderful voice and listen to you. I don't know, just loudly talk about whatever you want. Loudly talk about whatever you want. We don't mind. But yeah, so we've got Cheang on here just to talk about a special topic. Today is one we picked out of a hat. Not literally, figuratively, but you guys get the idea. Anyway, but for today, we're just gonna have a quick chat before we get into it. So, Cheang, what did you do? Actually, just what have you been up to since we've last spoken to you? Because we've only chatted every.
Working, trying to improve on the topic that we're going to talk about today.
Oh, fair enough. Because you still
working working on a different side project as well.
All right. Are you working in? Because I can't remember. Have you come back to New Zealand? Or are you still offshore?
Still offshore.
That's right. You're still in South Korea, aren't you?
I wish.
Oh, where are you now?
I was, but then I had to go back.
Oh, so wait, where are you right now?
Australia, of course.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you that the last time I was on.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if you were still in Australia or if you went back to South Korea. Oh, no. You're...
If I had a choice, I wouldn't be here. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Oh, you're stuck there, aren't you?
Technically, yes.
Oh, dear. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. If you need any help, we'll try to smuggle you out.
Thanks.
No problem. So, what else have you been up to? Yeah, that's right, because, usually on this...
Work, sleep, eat, you know.
Fair enough. Although usually on the show... Usually on the show, we do ask if any of our guest stars have been doing anything... something like media related, something like watching. I guess in the past we've asked, have you seen any anime or manga?
Watching new kind of drama lately, but yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's not. Is it South Korean drama?
Yeah.
What sort of South Korean drama?
It's try have a look on Netflix. It's called I believe it's called What Happened to My Family.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me it was that mermaid one.
No, not the mermaid one.
Oh.
Not that mermaid one. I've already watched that and I didn't find it that well.
Fair enough.
Thought out plot-wise.
All right. Yeah, I don't actually watch those sorts of dramas. I find them rather boring and unexciting. Then again, I am someone who still likes looking at a few love stories here and there, as long as they're not Hollywoodized. They're not Hollywoodized, if that's a word.
Yeah, I hate dramas that like go overboard in the story. Like they go overboard.
Well, yeah, I guess they can't help it if it's a matter of getting more views or getting more people easily hooked in on it. That's okay. We've I mean, other than that, I've also been. You'll probably like this. I've been browsing through quite a lot of manhwas, and
Which
yeah.
ones?
Oh well, I've been rereading and very happy to see it had a new chapter.
Aye, with the knowledge to direct it.
What was that?
I will learn what. Hear it?
What was that?
Oh, that was good. Sorry. I should mute that. Sorry.
Okay, so a little bit of a funny thing there. I think Cheang's got a game playing right now, even though he should be paying attention to us, but that's okay. So this manhwa I was looking through his solo play. Wasn't no?
I heard that drama that manhwa is pretty popular for a read.
It is. It's really good. Unfortunately, a lot of complaints
are. The story-wise is actually quite thought out quite well.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually turned into a movie or a drama later down the track.
It's the best way to describe it is a better version of Sword Art Online.
Yes, I would agree with that point.
Yeah.
I would agree on that point.
Because we all know Sword Art Online had a lot of hype when it first came out, because it's
especially the first 2 to 3 seasons.
Well, mostly within the first season there was big hype. Second season was and then it carried on for some odd reason. But anyway, this is where the idea of Sword Art Online came in. It was great just to see people stuck in a world where they have to abide by game rules or RPG rules, which is the best, which is a great concept, but not the best thought out execution, as we've seen in the Sword Art Online first season. As how many players died? Like 2,000 or something. And
I think it was more than 2,000.
Yeah,
for the first season.
It was like 2,000 in the first few days or weeks, and then carried on. I think it was maybe around half survived after the Sword Art Online game stopped, and after the end of the first season. But in solo play, it's a rather interesting story because how it starts is with our main character who is being ranked as the weakest among all hunters in the world, and it kind of starts with your with a typical almost isekai type or a fantasy type of setting. So you have people who
the background of the setting.
Yeah, pretty much. So it all looks really typical, really looks typical, looks pretty generic. But as soon as you go past the first 10 chapters, that's when it starts to kind of build itself up. Because the hype is worth it. It's actually not the hype. It's worth it to actually just continue on and read through this whole thing, because it was definitely a fantastic manhwa. And
I would compare it more as like the storyline of Death Note in a way.
Yeah.
I would compare it to the storyline of Death Note in a way, but
I mean,
it's a lot better. The manhwa was a lot better, but it still had some generic aspects of Death Note in it.
Little bit.
The storyline of it.
I'd say there's less talking. Much less
but
talking.
There's still, like, some essence of Death Note in there.
A little bit, but I wouldn't say completely. So that's one of the ones I've been reading. There's a whole heap of others, and I think what's another one I've been looking at?
Cheese in the Trap?
Cheese in the Trap? No, I kind of dropped that because I forgot about it. Don't blame me. I really did. I've been reading like an assortment of others, but I'm picking them up and dropping them because some of them are so bland
So
and
badly done.
yeah, unfortunately.
I've dropped a few myself.
Yeah, definitely solo play is not one I'm going to be dropping anytime soon. But one manga I have tried to continue to read and just continue on with is Kingdom.
Kingdom as in the zombie?
No, Kingdom as in the what is it? The ancient Chinese manga series.
About zombies?
No, just regular Chinese history. Just think
okay.
think among
I'm thinking of the drama.
Oh.
I'm actually thinking of the drama at the moment.
No, think Kingdom. Oh, sorry. Think what is it? War of the Three Kingdoms, but in the manga version. Yeah, it's
It's like that type of style setting.
pretty much, and I would say it's definitely worth a good read because it's what is it? First, what is it? 100 chapters. That's just the beginning, and then no, sorry, not the first 100 chapters. The first 40 chapters maybe is just building up, and hyping everything up, and then past that, it's literally unification wars of China and all that. It's it's such a fantastic manga to read, and
If you like that manga, then you should play Ghost of Tsushima.
play Ghost of Tsushima. I need to get myself a copy, but I'm a little bit lazy, as I usually am. But yeah.
Me too, these days as well.
Well, what can we do? It's
life.
Yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, other than that, what about you? Did you look at any new manhwas or mangas?
I'm thinking of starting Sweet Home or maybe another drama called Unknown Caller.
Unknown Caller. I think I heard of that one. Remind me again?
It's a thriller.
Thriller. Oh, definitely sounds familiar, but I'm still not. No, still not. Yeah, still doesn't come out. What's it about?
It's about it's an executive horror type like drama that's set in like a ghost town type of skyline setting.
No, okay then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And some of the ghosts make prank calls and say, "Oh," and then there's one human saying, "Who is this? Who is this?" And the ghost keeps calling.
Oh right. So it's kind of like a Japanese folklore tale, but extended.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
god.
It's like gone just on the edge of going overboard, just on the edge of just going overboard, like slightly below.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't go that overboard, right?
No, what I'm saying is not pushing that boundary just yet.
Okay. Okay then. I'm sure I wouldn't do anything like that. Anything else you've been looking at?
No, just those dramas, just those manhwas for now.
Fair enough. It's not you haven't have you been watching any animes actually? Cuz
I haven't actually started after the last one that you suggested I watch for the thing because I've been like too busy with work, reading, and then
work and reading. What do you read? I can't even remember you liking any books.
I read in school.
I know you do. I just don't remember what it was.
I read, Bleach, Naruto in the school library,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You read through the, I want to say extensive collection, but that's kind of,
I wouldn't say extensive collection. I would say underdeveloped collection.
A meager amount by comparison to other places.
You can find them online. Why read the book when you can read it at a library? An actual library.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I do have a point.
It's, yeah, it was a funny... I always thought it was funny that it had, like, this small little section for all the mangas, and then massive sections for Western comic books. And they didn't feel like balancing it out, so we were stuck having to use the school computers to read up mangas ourselves.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and
then everybody was like banned from like accessing like websites with like non-secure like access codes.
Oh no,
Both me and another classmate of mine actually got through the blockade, the firewall they put up.
How did you do that?
Come on.
What?
We got one of the teachers to give us the password.
How did you get one of the teachers?
We unblocked it, and then when we were finished, we blocked it back, so that no one knew we were there.
I'm more curious about how you managed to convince a teacher to
One of the prefects.
How did you manage to get? Wait, which prefect?
I believe it was one of the Year 13 prefects. I can't remember who it was.
Oh.
It was one of the Year 13 prefects.
How on earth did you manage to convince them to give you a passcode to go through the computers?
Because we said we needed it for the homework that was due 1 or 2 hours before class.
Oh, so you lied to them. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
We needed a way to get into it because it was lunchtime. Just before lunchtime, the prefect was in our class. So we just used him as bait, pretty much.
Wow.
Used him as bait.
I really wish I'd done that myself, but I don't know. I think I was...
Brandon would have been on to you big time if you did that.
Probably. I was definitely smart enough to carry out the task, but not smart enough to cover my tracks.
That's why we got the prefect.
Yeah, I would have definitely been screwed if I did that.
We got the prefect to do it.
Well done.
He covered our tracks for us, so that was nice of him to do it.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say. Although it would have been nice. Yeah, because the teachers definitely started blocking the computers after we
I remember them blocking YouTube at one stage.
I think that was after somebody showed me a what is it? A scene from Grave of the Fireflies.
Yes.
That
I think one of the principals said something about it, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, no. We were doing a project for English class or history class or one of those. I can't remember. And we were doing I think I was doing a project on Hiroshima.
Hiroshima as in the nuclear plant?
As in the nuclear... As in the disaster, the nuclear disaster.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The dropping of the atomic bomb. And so I was kind of looking around, looking at documentaries on YouTube, and someone from my class...
Did you just hear about Fukushima nuclear plant?
Yeah, I did.
They want to dispose about 1.2 million liters of contaminated water.
Yeah.
Into the water. Not a good idea.
Oh, they have to do something. Oh, well.
I wouldn't say don't do that.
We'll see what happens.
Don't do that. Because it'll just ruin the ocean and the environment.
Yeah. Anyway, Yeah, so then someone from my class said, "Hey, I know a great video you can look at. Um, Here, let me show you." And they showed me that scene from Grave of the Fireflies, where it was moments after the atomic bomb, little boy was dropped, and basically it was a what is it, an animated version of what happened after the bomb exploded. So, anyone who's seen Grave of the Fireflies knows what I'm talking about. Anyone who hasn't, I apologize for the spoiler, but for the love of God, if you have a weak stomach, do not look at this. So, yeah, so,
I think someone also showed me it, and I almost like had a cringy feeling in my stomach.
yeah, it was not a nice thing to look at. It was just like, why?
It really wasn't that good of a
Yeah, it was,
thing to look at.
we kind of had to ask them, why would you show me this? What is wrong with you? But, about 70% of the people we went with at Rongatai usually had a sick sense of humor.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It made me think, how on earth is it possibly safe to have all of you in one location unless someone somewhere is pointing a missile at you guys, ready to launch it in case things go from bad to worse?
And remember the Rick Roll virus that was like getting everybody to play against one another?
I didn't actually mind that because I started to like the song.
And even in my computer class, it was pissing the teacher off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was there's a lot of things that definitely did not make the teachers happy. I think one of the things teachers really were against is you downloading music for your school projects.
I did that I did that in year 12 when I was taking computer class. I was listening to radio and not doing my work.
I wanted to do it.
I still finished the work, but I just took 15 minutes of the class to listen to music.
Yeah, I tried to, but unfortunately I got caught, and I think the vice principal or was one of the one of the teachers or administrative staff, they were watching me through my computer, and basically what they did was they came to my class and effectively just went onto my computer and got me out of the site. And the whole time, me and the other two people who were sitting next to me, we were like, "What? What the hell?" It was so, I don't know. I don't want to call it creepy, but still.
Listen in this. There's a lesson. Always sit next to a computer that's not facing the door or near the door. Because if you sit in the computer that's near the door, the teacher will see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Except for the fact that every classroom was set up that way.
Yeah, that's why I always sat next to the teacher's desk. But I had my computer screen tilted a little bit to the left, so he could poke his eye, turn his eye across, so he couldn't see either way.
Did he not notice how it was strange that you were doing that, or just kind of...
No, he just let me continue.
Jeez.
Because I hid it underneath my work.
That is...
At the beginning of class, I would ask the teacher for a headset, so I could listen to the music that I'm putting into the program.
That's very sneaky, very, very sneaky.
Right? But it worked. It still worked. I'll take any advantage I can get.
I wish I knew how to do that when I was at school. I think I was too much of a...
What I had to do is, how do I get the teacher to not see what I'm doing? 1, put it on the screen for the work. 2, put something underneath it. Then you're covered. If the teacher sees it, no biggie.
3, hope the teacher doesn't feel like getting up off their chair and walking around to check what everybody's doing.
Bingo!
Yeah, unfortunately, that last one does usually happen. Though, yeah.
That's what happened to me on the last day that I was in year 13.
Yeah.
I didn't get caught.
Yeah, I think I just kind of gave up at one point, just didn't start caring much about it, so I think even the teachers knew, and they kind of let me play around for a bit while I was sitting at the computers doing nothing. A lot of fun. It was a lot of fun towards my final year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because they don't treat you like the year 9, year 10 students do. They treat you a lot easier towards the end of your school year.
Oh, the year 9s and 10s, don't even remind me of them. There's so many of them I wanted to punch in the face.
Yes, because they were so cheeky. They were so, talkative at times.
And annoying.
Listen.
And very annoying.
And very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what people were saying. They didn't know why they were saying it. It's like that kind of principle-wise.
Yeah, nothing much to do about it.
Yeah, let them make their own mistakes, I say.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we are just going to have a quick break from our catch-up, and when we come back, we're going to move on to talking about one of our favorite pastimes, Magic the Gathering. Yes, to every nerd, this is a dream come true. To everyone else, don't judge us, okay? You probably do something similar. All right, so we'll see you guys after the break.
Magic the Gathering is a collectible card game. It's strategic in nature. It's got a little bit of hidden information where you're hiding your cards from your opponent. You're playing your cards onto the battlefield, attacking and blocking with them, and trying to reduce your opponent to 0 life.
People collect the cards like baseball cards, and then they play a strategy game with them that's kind of like a combination of poker and chess. Poker in that you play with the cards you draw, but chess in that each card's like a different piece.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're here from our break, ready and refreshed. Now ready to talk about one of our favorite pastimes, Magic the Gathering. So for anyone who's literally been living under a rock, as we like to make that joke, Magic the Gathering is literally what it is, a card game, a massive card game universe where you can buy...
Card game, I would call.
Yeah, that as well. Where you can build a deck usually of a 60 card size deck, and from it play against your opponent, trying to bring them down from 20 life points to 0 and hopefully winning. So it's got a pretty standard concept. You've got 5 colors, which each color has its own representative creature or play style. For example, white. Yeah, pretty much. Like white usually has angels and plays with gaining life. Green plays with giant behemoths and all about making your monsters bigger than they actually are.
Don't say behemoths because I'm thinking of Vorinclex at the moment.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Behemoths are mostly what's in green. Red, where you have dragons and burn everything. Blue, which has sphinxes, and you can just counterspell and do so many of these other crazy things. And finally, black, where you have zombies and bring things from your graveyard, which is pretty much. It's all fun. It's all fun and games. And then there's other subtypes. You have lands, which allow you to have mana of specific colors. You have artifacts, which are usually non-creatures, but sometimes when they are creatures, they don't have a specific color. And Yeah, it's quite a lot of variations to this game, and Magic the Gathering's been around since the what, mid to late 90s?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah,
It
and
got really popular in 2000, I believe,
oh, definitely.
when Zendikar came out.
Yeah, it's so Magic the Gathering was created by some brainiacs. I can't remember the main guy's name, but they were created by the Wizards of the Coast. So this was I can't remember much about it. As far as I remember, it was made to be a sort of new type of game for people to enjoy, and then it just blew up. I mean, it was
Big time.
crazy how it blew up. Even I couldn't imagine how popular it became. And honestly, if you really, really enjoyed it, you one of the main things you would always see is kind of the card style and the art style that developed from something simple and much more, I guess, before I don't know, sort of high tech drawings. Something
Yeah,
that looks like it
what
was painted.
I liked about the game was
Yeah.
more of the artistic side of it. The drawings were
Yeah,
drawn in a way that looked almost too good to be real.
definitely. Yeah, one of the things we enjoyed about Magic the Gathering is just getting all the pretty cards for ourselves. It wasn't you know,
I got some pretty good foils, but I've lost all of them right now.
oh,
I don't have any foils at the moment.
yeah. It was definitely better once you went through one particular set type where they allowed you to have lands which are full art pictures.
Yeah,
Remember
I
those?
That was Zendikar, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Zendikar was the first set that had
Yeah.
full baseline art.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. Before anyone asks, there's a Magic the Gathering story or stories is a bit funny because at times it's canon. There's a canon story like a
Yeah, there's like a book version of
Yeah.
every
yeah, but
set
but,
that's been released.
yeah, and at the same time there's also other arching stories. But I think at one point they decided to just create a point of, I guess, a fractured point in Magic where the past and the future collided and then broke away, and you're able to kind of
Was that before Innistrad? I believe it was for Innistrad.
it was way before. It would have been sometime in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Those card sets were all about time and how things from the past and the future are kind of intertwining and colliding with each other, which gave some people a really good excuse to start bringing new worlds and new concepts in, which we were not complaining about. It was great.
Yeah, the problem I had with the previous set before Innistrad is Ugin. Ugin screwed me big time.
Yeah, that was
He pretty much ruined about half of the decks that were being run at that time.
I'll say. Yeah. But in any case, I guess we'll just just between me and Cheang, we're just gonna quickly tell our little story of how we began with Magic. So, you want to start, Cheang, or do you want me to start?
You can go, Eric.
Right. Oh, I'll make mine quick. Mine's not exactly special. So I got into Magic after a very, very poor, I guess poor popularity with the Naruto card game. So before Magic, I was a Naruto card game nerd. And so throughout that time, I was trying to see if Naruto would be, the Naruto card game would be popular. And there was still quite a few people playing there. At one point, we had a dozen people.
But I heard that's gone down to like popularity big time.
Yeah, at the time, it was just barely going along, and at any given point, there was maybe less than half a dozen people playing at any time. The biggest number we had was about 12 people, but that was it. However, yeah, and then further down the line, I realized that the Naruto game wasn't going to be popular. You know, the store we go to kind of stopped buying any new packs, ordering new packs, and so I thought to myself, this is not going to work. There's less and less people now coming in to play Naruto. It's just not going to work. So instead, what I decided was just kind of look for a new card game to play. And so, because Magic the Gathering at the time was very popular, I thought, okay, let's give it a go. And then, boom! I got so into it, I lost a lot of money just buying packs and boxes and all that. It was crazy. I think also around the time that I joined, there was a tournament going on, and I just immediately jumped into it. And I got the floor wiped with me because I was so new to the game, but I found myself enjoying it. And so then the next few years, I was just playing along, managed to catch up with the trend, keep up with the trends, kept up with the new mechanics and the old mechanics that came and went. And it was just the most fun and exciting time I ever had. And yeah, that's pretty much my origin story of getting into Magic. What about you, Cheang?
Well, I started, really late. I think it was just before Ascension came out.
Okay.
I started just before then. I was running a blue-black spirit with Jogskull Captain as the main piece built around, because I got, 2 of the cards in 3 boosters.
Nice.
So that pretty much started me on my journey about saying, I may as well see what the other cards in the set do. So I looked at a booklet of the whole set, decided I was going to play spirits. Blue, white spirit, hexproof.
Nice.
So I went along, tested it out, and it actually won against a few regular attendees at the local game store.
Yeah, I remember that. Although I can't remember exactly how well you played.
After that, it didn't function too well when the next mechanic came around.
Oh, yeah.
My deck got absolutely decimated by mulligans after mulligan. Still didn't get the set piece I wanted.
Yeah, no. The mulligan mechanic for Magic is always the worst, because especially I think one of the sets always encouraged it to be played.
I think the next set encouraged you to mulligan or discard your hand to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's something like that.
The next set was going to do that.
Yeah.
So, against the next set, which I was foreseeing was going to come, my deck didn't stand a chance against mulligan decks.
No, unfortunately not.
It's just not going to work, because if they're going to mulligan my whole deck, it's just not going to last, and I can't get my set piece out.
Yeah, no. It definitely didn't work. Now that you're mentioning all these sets and that, I now do remember when I started. I started around the when the last set for the Zendikar set came out.
Oh yeah, that was just, I think it was like 3 months before Innistrad, isn't it?
No. Something came after Zendikar, and then something else came after that, and then Innistrad came out.
Okay.
So Innistrad is definitely fairly new. But yeah, but in yeah, just I guess a quick little talk about at least one of the Magic sets. If we try and go into the entirety of every Magic set for Magic, um,
Innistrad.
yeah, it would be it would take too long. So we're gonna go quickly into Zendikar and Innistrad, which are our two favorites and two most memorable. There's a few others I'd like, but let's go with these ones because Zendikar itself was an interesting, had a few interesting concepts, which involved introducing colorless creatures, not artifacts, but these alien gods that could destroy everything. Eldrazi, remember that?
Yeah, I got absolute. I was facing. Oh, don't even get me started on that set. One of my most hated sets.
Mm-hmm. So, just to give everyone a little bit of a background, so the Eldrazi are these creature cards, very rare. As oh yeah, just real quick, the rarity for Magic goes from common, uncommon, rare, and mythic. So there's four. Now, mythic, obviously commons are easy to get, mythics are extremely hard. The Eldrazi creatures had a special sort of, I guess, mythic rarity because they're extremely hard to get, and with good reason. Because each card can absolutely destroy you. The creatures alone.
If it's sent out in the right way.
Yes. The creatures alone, there is one which cannot be destroyed, cannot be stopped from coming onto the battlefield, cannot be targeted, and can absolutely destroy you as it attacks. And I guess one of the spells as well, I'll include one of the spells, which, as far as I remember, is able to just wipe the board of everything. You thought you had things defending you? Not anymore.
Goodbye.
Yep, everything is gone. So, the Zendikar set was, without a doubt, the scariest thing to play against because the creature cards included would just completely destroy you in one go if you weren't careful.
Yeah, the problem with that set that I played against, it's just stupidly ridiculous.
That's definitely the case.
Stupidly ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely overkill on every aspect.
Every card was overkill in that set.
Yeah, but I think the upside came when they decided, okay, so if you think it's from Zendikar and you think it can destroy everything, it's banned. Just do not play it.
When that ban list was introduced, I was like, thank you, Magic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's not that hard to find the ban list for Magic. You can look it up. Some of these cards are interesting. You think, why are they up there? But if
and
you...
then you'll understand what combos will match it.
Yeah, you'll understand why some of these cards are considered banned. Because if played right, players can kill other players within 3 to 4 turns just by having any of these certain banned cards.
And most decks can kill on turn 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
So those cards that can turn your opponents to nothing in turn 3.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Not going to last very long in play.
Yeah. So yeah. So ban list was created to make sure that any cards that would introduce a new level of getting out, pretty much, would be put aside. But yeah, but anyway, that's my little rant on Zendikar. Cheang, why don't you tell us about why you liked Innistrad?
Innistrad was pretty interesting for me. It was humans, werewolves, vampires, spirits.
So
what took me was I looked at vampires first when trying to create a deck, and I thought, there's no way there's enough cards in the set to protect the vampires. There's no protection for them. You try and make a deck of vampires in Innistrad, it's not going to work. You make a deck for humans, maybe.
Yeah.
But the majority of the cards that were in that set were built around spirits and how it was triggered.
Do you know one of the interesting things they showed when they created those cards in Innistrad?
Yeah.
It was introducing. Do you remember introducing green werewolves and red vampires?
Was it flipped green werewolves?
It was flipped.
And then flipped to green?
It was both. It was regular and flipped werewolves and regular and flipped vampires.
Yeah.
And these were introduced into colors outside of what they normally are. So werewolves and vampires
like
black.
Colors.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know what dual coloring is, dual colors is a card type that has two different color sources in it. For example, white, blue, blue, black, red, green.
Yep. And each requires the specific color cost that is that is included in the mana in the mana cost. So each card has a mana cost required to play it. If you don't have it, tough luck. But Innistrad definitely introduced a really cool concept we almost never see, because all the concepts for Magic is fantasy, otherworldly stuff. Innistrad hit a little closer to home, having to show us, an atmosphere and an environment that looks like something out of an old school horror movie genre.
Yes, horror movie.
And I think this is the thing we loved about it. There's still parts here and there that's more, okay, so that's still Magic, so they're not ripping off something completely. But then it was just enough of this new concept to keep people going, this is cool. That was just for the first set. The second set introduced maybe half of the new cards, and then I don't know.
Some new ones on top.
Yeah, but the second set kind of sucked in comparison to the first set.
Yeah, I agree with that. The second set in that block was underperforming, I would say. It still had some presently beautiful artwork in it, but the second set especially felt a bit weak for me.
Yeah, it was. It definitely wasn't something I would, recommend building a deck out of.
I went for 2 packs in the second set, and I thought, no way. No way.
They barely just held on to the interest with the third set. The third set was definitely
The third set was the best out of 1 and 2. I would say.
Yeah.
I think getting towards the first set.
I am going to be
just on the edge of the first set.
Yeah, I am going to be honest with you. The only reason I was looking forward to the third set was to get the Mythic Angel.
Yeah,
which
that was my only reason as well.
Yeah, the Mythic.
Agree with me on that point. The third set was amazing for angels.
It was.
It was one of the angels gave hexproof protection from black and white, so pretty much you could play at whim. You could just play at whim. It's fine. And it was a 3-drop angel. 3-drop white angel.
Yeah, it was.
It was ridiculous.
I think it was the rare angel. It was a rare angel, but I can't remember exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much been both of us liking this. Yeah, because for us, Magic wasn't really something we did on our off. It wasn't something we did just kind of as an on and off thing. It was something we were into so much. Cheang is still more into it than I am because he can remember most of the card names better than I can. Because, yeah, like playing it, there were so many things you had to remember about the game. Like, what's the card name? What sort of mana required to pay for it? What are the effects? What's the creature type? What are its attack and toughness? And so many other things. You didn't know anything about these things. You were just stuck looking like a bit of an idiot.
Yeah. If you didn't get the core concept down when you played the challenger decks, then you're pretty much screwed.
You kind of were.
Yeah.
I think but of course we are talking about the standard or maybe even casual sort of plays. You get a 60 card deck, you're good to go. There's other types of plays.
Other formats as
Yeah.
well.
Exactly.
Apart from those standards.
Yeah. Although standard, casual, and one other are the only ones I played. I never played the Legacy format.
I never got why Legacy was introduced.
So, no, Legacy was introduced, but it was such a rare format that it wasn't often seen. So, just a little bit of a background. Legacy format is building a deck, I think somewhere between 30 to 60 cards. No, it was 60.
It was sealed, right?
No, it wasn't. Legacy was building a deck from cards before a certain set. So this is literally having a deck of cards looking so old you thought they were hand painted, which they probably were. So those are the only cards you were allowed to play. Now you might think this is a bit boring or maybe even useless, but some cards back in those days had some pretty nifty effects. You know, for even sets that were starting out, they had effects that would just completely wipe the board with you. It was crazy. So, but I never got into Legacy, so I kind of just went and
with standard and
EDH.
Yeah.
So
I remember getting bashed by EDH one time.
Yeah. So the EDH format required us to
Make a 100 card deck?
Yep, make it a 100 card deck and pick one legendary creature, which are special creatures, named as legendary because they had some special effects to them that made them more unique to other creatures, and that would be your commander. Now, your commander is just there as an additional creature, but you may only have a commander that matches the color scheme of the mana to your deck. So you cannot have a black commander with a red deck, or a blue-black commander, with a green-red deck. It's just no, that's not how it works. And you'd be considered breaking the rules if you even have one card that's slightly off like that. So,
yeah, and another thing about Commander, there's this rule within Commander that you can't have like two of the same commanders or two of the same name commanders in that same deck.
That is correct. No way are you allowed to have any similar named commanders in your deck. It's just no. No. That's not how things work. It was definitely
very challenging. EDH was more challenging than Standard was.
But the best thing about EDH was that there was no limitations to what kind of card you can have.
Yeah, so the combos you could play were pretty much unlimited. You can play from any set.
Yep.
You can play from any booster.
Mm-hmm. There's no limitations to it. One of my favorites, was a deck I built around creating chaos. Destroy everything, control everything, swap people's creatures around, take creatures from graveyards, just mess everything up. I have pissed off so many people doing it. It was the best time of my life.
Did they just quit once they knew what deck you were running?
Oh no, they all ganged up on me and tried to kill me.
Didn't work so well, did it?
fun. The fun part was just getting a rise out of them, just getting them all riled up, just for the simple fact of, I stole your creature. I was using that. Sorry, it's mine now. They spend all that time planning, preparing, getting this special little thing out in the open, and I just take it. Yoink, here.
Sorry.
Yeah, I bring out a card, a cheap card that lets me, control a creature. That I take their 15/15 big dinosaur onto my side, and they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "I like dinosaurs."
Goodbye.
Yeah, nobody.
It's like 15/15. You got 15 life. You got no blockers. Hey, may as well end you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, nobody liked me when I had that kind of card. It was definitely, a hated card. So I instead decided to just lower my, I guess not lower, but kind of create two other type of decks that would, I guess, cancel out my main hated deck. So I built two EDH decks that were centered around big creatures and killing everything with those big creatures. So it was
green.
So I had a
Light green.
No. I had a blue green red deck and then a blue green white deck. Yeah. Some people there's different commanders that you can use. Some have a single color, some have 5 colors. You literally had no limitations on the kind of things you can do with those kind of color sets and combos. But yeah, EDH was definitely my favorite format to play because 100 card deck, that is just delicious.
My favorite format was probably standard or modern.
Yeah.
Modern was a lot more carefree, I would say. You didn't have to really concern if it was like an older set so much.
Yeah.
Whereas in standard, you had to actually care a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. But I never really got into modern myself. It was just kind of outside the scope of my understanding. Yeah. But in any case, yeah, that's kind of, I think that's our discussion on Magic at the moment. So I think we'll be finishing up here. We are going to probably do a let's play between me and Cheang for a few games, if we ever decide to show that at one point. But if you enjoyed this podcast on Magic the Gathering, then come check out me and Cheang trying to kick each other's asses at Magic the Gathering Arena, which is an online gaming platform for Magic. So, yeah. And so, yeah, before we finish off, if you guys want to follow us on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, all of which have the tag name Alternating with Erik. There's other platforms as well, but I can't remember what those are. I'm sure if you look back at our other podcasts, you'll be able to figure it out. Otherwise, we are going to be finishing here, so I hope you enjoyed our talk about Magic the Gathering. So this has been Alternating with Erik, and I'm Erik. And this, yep. So thanks for listening to us, and we'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.